Okay, know I'm presenting. Hey, today is part one of our um, fish unit. You might be already thinking like, hey, we already kind of been talking about some fish ID stuff. In this unit, we're going to be talking about the um, anatomy, the physiology, the behaviors, the all the characteristics of fish. And this is kind of depending on where we're at in the semester. This is going to be kind of where we're going with the classes. We're going to look at the major vertebrate groups moving forward. And fish for this fall semester make the most sense to start with because evolutionarily they're the oldest. All right, they're the things that have been around the longest. And we start with fish. And in this process, we want to show all of the other vertebrate classes. Okay, so we're going to be talking about three in this unit. Those are the jawless fish, the lamprey, and the hagfish. Okay, we have a short day on those. We have the cartilaginous based fish. Those would be sharks and rays. Their skeletons are a little bit different. And then the bony fish, which are the fish that you and I are familiar with. Um, the rest of vertebrates are also common names that you should know, and those are amphibians, reptiles, birds, and mammals. So the first three we bunch into one unit, and the rest will each have their own unit. And today we're very going to be short and sweet, talking about the history of fish. All right, so kind of where they show up in the fossil record, how old are they, those things. And first off, we have to define fish as a general definition of anything with gills, scales, and fins. Okay, those three things are what make a fish a fish. Now, obviously, there's going to be some small exceptions, especially now as we get into more DNA usage as we're IDing things. But gills, scales, fins, those are the three main determining factors that say, hey, this thing is a fish. The very first fish in the fossil record were jawless, and the Devonian period would be the age of the fishes. Okay, two things there. Devonian period, boy, I'm going off the top of my head. That would be roughly half a billion years ago. Okay, so 500 million years ago. Fish were the dominant species on Earth. Remember, land masses were different, water was in different places, but fish show up and they are running the show. They are the most advanced organisms on the planet. And the second part there is the age of fishes. That's kind of a weird thing. You use the plural there, fishes, when you're talking about more than one species of fish. Okay, so if you catch, 30 bass, you don't say, hey, I got 30 fishes here. But if you have a bunch of different species, then you have different fishes. If that makes sense there. Um, we're actually going to end notes there with the Devonian era with this picture at the bottom right. And that is a fossil of a Devonian era fish. This would be a placoderm. This thing was about the size of a small school bus. Okay, so one of those shorter, like shuttle buses, is how big this thing was. And it had this armor plating around its head and its neck, and it had these big jaws. And so this thing terrorized the sea. It was a top predator for sure in that ecosystem, but it was far from the only extinct fish species that dominated during the Devonian period. If you go online, you'll find that your assignment today is all about identifying some extinct Devonian era fish species. So have fun with that assignment doing that research.